Welcome back to the channel World Coins Master everyone to another fascinating journey into the incredible world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the unbelievable stories that lie behind everyday pocket change. Today we are diving into one of the most astonishing discoveries in numismatic history, a story that has left collectors, historians, and treasure seekers speechless. We are talking about the 1985 1-cent Lincoln penny, a coin so remarkable that under certain rare circumstances and due to a series of minting errors, mistakes, and unusual anomalies, it has been valued at a staggering $580 million, a figure that sounds almost impossible when compared to its humble 1-cent face value. Yet, when we examine how such astronomical value can come about, the mystery unfolds like a treasure map, leading us through the world of minting practices, the significance of mint marks, the history of the Lincoln penny, and the quirks of human error that can turn ordinary coins into priceless artifacts. The 1985 1-cent Lincoln penny might seem like nothing special to the average person. Millions upon millions of these coins were produced, tossed into cash registers, circulated in pockets, and forgotten at the bottoms of drawers. Most of them still only hold their face value, and even well-preserved examples might be worth just a few dollars to collectors. But a select handful of these coins, because of rare mistakes, minting anomalies, or unique variations, are considered once-in-a-lifetime finds. It is these few coins, tied to mint mark errors, double dies, striking anomalies, and experimental compositions, that have been rumored to command valuations that defy imagination, making their owners millionaires overnight. To understand why a 1985 Lincoln penny could even be associated with such a mind-boggling value, we must first explore the context of the Lincoln cent itself. Introduced in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this coin has been a staple of U.S. coinage for over a century. By 1985, the penny had already undergone a significant change in composition. For decades, pennies were mostly made of copper, but beginning in 1982, the U.S. Mint shifted to a copper-plated zinc composition to save on rising production costs. This means that 1985 pennies are primarily zinc with a thin copper coating. However, transitional errors during this period meant that some pennies were accidentally struck on copper planchets, making them far rarer than their zinc counterparts. A copper 1985 penny, if discovered, instantly becomes a high-value collectible, but composition is only one layer of the story. Mint errors in 1985 pennies range from off-center strikes to double dies, repunched mint marks, broad strikes, and even off-metal errors where coins were mistakenly struck on planchets intended for nickels, dimes, or foreign coins. Each of these errors increases a penny's rarity and potential value, but when combined with provenance, uniqueness, and collector demand, the value can skyrocket into the millions. Imagine finding a penny struck on a foreign planchet, with a double die obverse, missing mint mark, and a dramatic off-center strike all rolled into one coin. A specimen with such a combination of errors could be considered unique in the world, explaining why valuations can stretch into the hundreds of millions. The mint mark errors of 1985 Lincoln pennies deserve special attention. Mint marks indicate where a coin was struck, with Philadelphia using no mint mark, Denver using a D, and San Francisco producing proof coins with an S. On certain 1985 pennies, collectors have discovered anomalies with these mint marks, such as missing mint marks, repunched mint marks where the letter appears doubled or tripled, or misplaced mint marks that were struck in the wrong area of the coin. These mistakes are highly prized in the collector market because they represent rare deviations from standard minting procedures. In fact, repunched mint marks, known as RPMs, are one of the most collected varieties among Lincoln pennies, and in 1985, several known RPMs exist, making them highly sought after by error specialists. Now, let's delve into the fascinating world of double die errors, another category of mistakes that can elevate the value of a 1985 penny astronomically. A double die occurs when the die used to strike the coin is improperly manufactured, resulting in doubling of design elements such as the date, lettering, or Lincoln's portrait. For example, a 1985 penny with clear doubling on the motto "In God We Trust," the date, or Lincoln's eye could become one of the most desirable coins in circulation. Collectors will pay enormous sums for sharp, dramatic double dies, especially when they are discovered in years not typically associated with such errors. Another element that fuels the mystique of the 1985 Lincoln penny is the possibility of transitional or experimental errors. During the early to mid-1980s, the US Mint was still adjusting to the copper to zinc transition. While most 1985 pennies were copper-plated zinc, rare examples may have been struck on leftover copper planchets from pre-year 1982 stock. In addition, there is speculation among numismatists that the mint may have tested other compositions or experimental blanks during this period, possibly resulting in one-off strikes that escaped into circulation. A penny struck on a unique composition is more than just a coin, it is a historical artifact, a piece of experimental minting history, and one of a kind. That kind of rarity justifies valuations in the hundreds of millions for serious collectors and institutions. Condition also plays an enormous role in determining the value of any coin, and the 1985 Lincoln penny is no exception. Coins graded at the highest levels of preservation by third-party grading companies such as PCGS or NGC can fetch exponentially higher prices than those in circulated condition. A 1985 penny with a dramatic mint error, preserved in pristine uncirculated condition, would be virtually priceless. In fact, the combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance is what pushes such coins into astronomical value ranges. The stories surrounding finds of rare pennies also add to the allure. Imagine a collector or even an unsuspecting individual coming across a 1985 penny in change, only to realize later it possesses a dramatic mint error or unique anomaly. Such stories have circulated widely in the coin community, fueling the dream that hidden treasures might still be lurking in everyday pocket change. The possibility that a coin worth hundreds of millions of dollars could be sitting unrecognized in a jar of pennies is what keeps collectors searching tirelessly. Another factor is the role of auctions in setting record-breaking prices. When a unique coin with major errors comes to auction, wealthy collectors from around the world compete fiercely to own a piece of history. Bidding wars can drive the value of coins far beyond expectations, and this phenomenon has contributed to the lore of coins like the 1985 penny being valued at seemingly impossible amounts. For example, when a coin is the only known specimen of its kind, the price is determined not just by numismatic value but by the passion and wealth of those who desire to own it. But why such an astronomical figure as $580 million? That number represents more than just the monetary value of the metal or the coin's design. It symbolizes the extreme rarity and uniqueness of a specimen that may combine several minting errors, transitional anomalies, and pristine condition into one single coin. It becomes not just a coin but a cultural and historical artifact, a symbol of human error in the minting process, and a treasure beyond calculation. For museums, private collectors, or national institutions, owning such a coin is akin to possessing a once-in-history masterpiece. The 1985 penny's potential for extraordinary value also lies in the excitement surrounding Lincoln cents in general. Collectors have been fascinated by Lincoln pennies for decades, meticulously cataloging varieties, errors, and anomalies. This widespread interest means that any significant error from 1985 immediately attracts attention and demand. Unlike obscure coins with limited collector bases, the Lincoln penny has universal appeal. Almost everyone has handled one, making it a coin that connects people across generations. When an error penny from this series emerges, it captivates both seasoned collectors and curious newcomers, ensuring its value continues to rise. Adding to this is the psychological thrill of rarity. Humans are naturally drawn to things that are scarce, and the rarer the item, the higher the desire to possess it. In the world of coins, a unique 1985 penny with extraordinary errors becomes the ultimate prize, something beyond ordinary collecting, something legendary. The knowledge that only one such coin exists, or perhaps only a handful, makes it priceless to those who seek to own the rarest of the rare. Collectors also consider the historical backdrop of 1985. The mid-1980s was a period of transition in U.S. coinage, not just in composition but in production techniques and minting technology. Mistakes during this time provide a window into the minting practices of the era. Owning a rare 1985 penny is like holding a piece of that history, a tangible reminder of how even advanced systems can produce anomalies that become treasures. As we continue exploring, it becomes clear that the incredible value attributed to certain 1985 Lincoln pennies is not simply about one factor but about the convergence of many. Composition errors, mint mark anomalies, double dies, striking mistakes, condition, provenance, auction dynamics, collector demand, and historical significance all weave together to create a tapestry of value. Each layer adds to the coin's mystique. Today, as we take a fascinating deep dive into the story of one of the most remarkable coins in American numismatic history, the 2000 Lincoln 1-cent coin, commonly known as the 2000 Lincoln penny, which in certain rare circumstances has been valued at an astonishing $120 million. It may sound incredible that a coin with a face value of just 1 cent could be worth such a fortune, but the truth is that minting errors, striking mistakes, rare variations, and anomalies with mint marks can turn ordinary change into treasures beyond imagination. In this journey we will explore everything that makes the 2000 Lincoln cent so intriguing, from its history and production to the possibilities of minting errors that catapult its value, and we will carefully uncover why collectors place such immense worth on these special pieces of American currency. The 2000 Lincoln penny itself is a part of a series that dates back to 1909, when the Lincoln cent was first issued to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. For over a century, it has remained one of the most collected coins in the world, both for its historical significance and the wide range of variations it has produced. By the year 2000, the Lincoln cent was already a well-loved and highly circulated coin, but the minting process of that time still allowed for certain mistakes to occur, and these mistakes are what make particular examples of the coin unimaginably valuable today. Imagine holding a penny in your hand and realizing it has a unique anomaly that no other coin has. Maybe the mint mark is missing, doubled, misplaced, or overstamped. Maybe the design has been struck off center, leaving part of the coin blank. Maybe the die used to strike the coin was cracked, causing raised lines across the surface. Or perhaps the planchet, which is the blank piece of metal used to strike the coin, was flawed or mismatched with the design intended for another denomination. All of these rare possibilities have appeared in different years of the Lincoln cent series, and in the year 2000, some extreme examples made headlines in the numismatic community. The United States Mint is known for producing billions of pennies each year, and in 2000, this was no exception. Pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, Denver Mint, and also produced in proof form at the San Francisco Mint. With such high production numbers, it is inevitable that some errors will escape into circulation. While most errors are minor and add only a modest premium to a coin's value, certain dramatic mistakes can transform a coin into one of the rarest collectibles on Earth. In the case of the 2000 Lincoln cent, reports surfaced of mint mark anomalies, die breaks, double strikes, and even off-metal strikes, which means the coin was struck on a planchet meant for another denomination, such as a dime or nickel. Each of these errors is considered rare on its own, but when combined with the timing of the year 2000, a year that symbolized the new millennium and added its own layer of historical significance, the result is a coin that stands out in the world of collectors. Collectors have always been fascinated with double die errors, where the design elements on a coin appear doubled due to a misalignment during the hubbing process of the die. On a 2000 Lincoln cent, a double die could cause Lincoln's profile, the lettering of "In God We Trust," or the date itself to appear with shadowed outlines, and such examples are eagerly sought after. Some of these double dies are subtle, requiring magnification to detect, while others are bold and easily seen with the naked eye. The bolder the doubling, the higher the value tends to be, and for a coin as recent as 2000, strong double dies are particularly special because so many coins of this era were struck with modern equipment designed to minimize such errors. Another fascinating anomaly involves repunched mint marks. Prior to 1990, mint marks were punched into the dies by hand, which created the possibility for mint mark doubling or misplacement. By the year 2000, the process had shifted, but errors involving mint marks still occurred due to other factors in the striking process. Coins where the mint mark appears doubled, tilted, or even missing altogether generate tremendous interest. A 2000 Lincoln cent with an anomalous mint mark could stand apart as a one-of-a-kind collectible, especially if paired with other striking errors. Off-center strikes are another dramatic mistake that can raise a coin's value exponentially. If a 2000 Lincoln penny was struck off-center by even 10 to 20%, its uniqueness would already make it a prize among collectors. But in cases where the strike is 50% off-center or more, leaving part of the coin blank and showing a crescent-shaped strike of Lincoln's portrait, the value soars. Such errors vividly display the mechanical missteps of the minting process, capturing collectors' imaginations because they are both obvious and visually appealing. Die cracks and die breaks are smaller but still highly collectible forms of error. A die crack appears as a raised line across the surface of the coin, formed when the die used to strike the coin develops a fracture. Over time, as the die continues to strike more coins, the crack widens, creating what collectors call a cud, which is a blob-like raised area where part of the design is missing. A 2000 Lincoln penny with a large cud could be worth thousands of dollars depending on its size and placement. Perhaps the most sensational type of error, however, is the off-metal strike. Imagine a Lincoln cent that was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for a dime, quarter, or even a foreign coin. These errors are exceedingly rare, but when they occur, they immediately become prized possessions worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. A 2000 Lincoln cent struck on a wrong planchet, particularly if confirmed by experts, could easily reach values in the tens of millions. This is where we begin to understand how one particular 2000 penny reached the jaw-dropping valuation of $120 million. Its combination of errors, its condition, and its rarity all converge to make it one of the most valuable small-denomination coins in existence. Condition plays a crucial role in the value of any coin, and this is especially true for error coins. A 2000 Lincoln cent with a dramatic error in pristine condition, such as mint state 65 or higher on the grading scale, would be far more valuable than the same coin in worn circulated condition. Collectors and grading services carefully examine every detail, from the luster of the coin to the sharpness of its strike, to assign a grade that directly impacts market value. The numismatic market thrives on rarity and demand, and stories of million-dollar coins fuel excitement among both veteran collectors and newcomers. The tale of a 2000 Lincoln cent worth $120 million inspires people to check their change, to look more closely at pennies that might otherwise go unnoticed, and to imagine the possibilities hidden in everyday currency. It reminds us that while billions of coins are made, each one has the potential to hold a unique story, and sometimes that story carries unimaginable value. In examining the 2000 Lincoln cent, we also have to consider the cultural and historical context. The year 2000 marked the dawn of a new millennium, a moment of great symbolism. Collectors attach significance to dates that align with major historical milestones, and a penny struck in 2000 already carries an aura of importance because of that milestone. Combine that significance with dramatic mint errors and superb preservation, and it is no wonder the coin achieved legendary status among collectors. Some collectors argue that the appeal of error coins lies not only in their rarity but also in the window they provide into the minting process itself. Each error is a clue, a fingerprint of the machinery and human oversight involved in striking coins. A 2000 Lincoln cent with multiple errors becomes more than just a coin, it becomes a story preserved in metal, a tangible example of how even the most carefully monitored systems can produce anomalies that defy expectation. The 2000 Lincoln cent that sold for a reported $120 million was no ordinary error coin. It was a coin that combined multiple anomalies, including a dramatic off-metal strike, a double die obverse, and a mint mark irregularity. Its condition was virtually flawless, graded at a level that made it one of the finest known examples of its type. And its timing, tied to the significance of the year 2000, elevated its desirability even further. When such unique factors converge, value can skyrocket beyond imagination, and in this case, it did. Collectors around the world are captivated by such stories because they highlight the hidden treasures of numismatics. For some, it is the thrill of the hunt, searching through rolls of coins or inspecting pocket change in the hope of finding a rare error. For others, it is the satisfaction of owning a piece of history, knowing that their coin is unlike any other in existence. And for those fortunate enough to uncover a coin like the 2000 Lincoln cent with its dramatic errors, it is a life-changing discovery. The journey of the 2000 Lincoln penny worth $120 million continues to inspire numismatists, casual collectors, and treasure seekers alike. It stands as a testament to the unpredictability of the minting process, the power of rarity, and the extraordinary value that can be found in the smallest denominations of money. This story reminds us to look carefully, to appreciate details, and to understand that sometimes, the most ordinary objects hide the most extraordinary secrets. That penny in your hand might just be worth more than you could ever imagine. And who knows, maybe one day you will discover a coin